Mr. Tariq Chauhan's book, Getting to Resilient Mode, is one of those rare reads. When I first picked up the book, what struck me immediately was how counterintuitive the leadership advice was compared to what we usually hear in the corporate world. In a time where we draw such sharp lines between our professional and personal identities, this book asks us to embrace both of them and create a value system that transcends both our work and personal identity.
Esteemed guests and friends, it is a pleasure and a privilege to be here today for the India launch of Getting to Resilience Mode by Tariq Chauhan. I am here not only as a representative of Rekhta Publications, but more importantly, as Tariq's friend and well-wisher. I have known him for barely a few years, but even in that short time, I have grown to admire him as a man, as a friend, as a leader, and as a visionary. Resilience is defined as the positive ability of a person, system, or company to adapt to and recover quickly from the consequences of catastrophic failure. A couplet by Sayyid Ghulam Muhammad Mast Kalkatti goes, सुरखरू होता है इंसान ठोकरें खाने के बाद, सुरखरू होता है इंसान ठोकरें खाने के बाद, रंग लाती है हिना पत्थर पे पिस जाने के बाद. I believe that Tariq Chauhan is the embodiment of such resilience. There was a time when everything was crumbling around him. Financial setbacks, professional challenges, and personal struggles.
So what I have done as a part of this book is actually touching upon how you create a stakeholders value, and your stakeholders are who? Not shareholders alone, not employees alone, not clients alone. So I created an ecosystem within my organization, and exactly what you look into this business between people results, business results, customer results, and society results. I have integrated that, and I'm proud to present something to you from a diversity and inclusion, something that today in a world everybody is questioning D&I, but according to me, I'm one of the biggest beneficiary of that. The same way in context to sustainability, or for that matter, value embodiment. I don't think without ring fencing my core values, I could have been here where I am. Or my organization, or for that matter, the people that work within my organization. They all have been great, and I am a product of a teamwork. It's not me alone. Whatever I have come that far, definitely first to my parents, to my wife, to my children, and then to a larger ecosystem, the EFS, the company that I have built.
This is probably one of the few organizations in the world which, when the world shut down during COVID, he neither sacked anybody, but actually ended up at the end of COVID with more employees than at the beginning of COVID. That is resilience for me.
I read that book as to understand exactly how interesting and collective management could be done. And one thing very interesting was that I've never read any other book where the failures have been so passionately, so clearly, and so objectively mentioned as Tariq has done in his book. And normally people don't like failures and they enjoy success. But here is a man who really learned from his failures, and probably those failures were the one which has brought him to this level.
I know where he's coming from, and so we're very open, we are very giving, I think. What do you say? Yeah. And frankly, I can't imagine you being down, that you needed to be resilient, Tariq.
Oxford Dictionary tells us that resilient mode generally refers to a state or ability to recover quickly from difficulties and adapt to disruptions or changes, maintaining its functionality, or returning to a previous state, or to return to its original shape after being bent, stretched, or pressed, broadly defined. And Tariq has gone all these things. So this book, in a way, it's a primer to future generations, or even those who are aspiring to become something.
We've learned what resilience means from our parents and from our father. He spoke about his difficult moments. We were there throughout it, so we know. And I think that's probably one of the most resilient things you can do, is to shield or shelter your children from that uncertainty. So really proud of who he is and what he's done.
What really struck me about his book was that's a very honest book, and it's an unpretentious book. It does not lecture, it does not hector you with jargon. It's a very simple and straight book, and you can make out that it comes out of his life experience. Particularly the resilient, Qurban has very eloquently given the definition of resilient. And another thing about Aligarh is it teaches you Urdu poetry. And as I was reading, I was being reminded of a number of couplets at different stages. And one of them is that when you face difficulties, you become stronger. A person who has not faced difficulties and failures would crumble at the first time he faces a crisis in the life. तुम दिए बादे मुखालिफ से ना हो परेशान उकाब. Oh, the high-flying eagle, do not let the intensity of the opposing wind disturb you. तुम दिए बादे मुखालिफ से ना हो परेशान उकाब, ये तो चलती है तुझे ऊंचा उठाने के लिए.
I don't think I know many books that actually start with saying, oh, you know what, this book is about learning from my mistakes. Firstly, not all of us are very candid about admitting our mistakes, leave alone writing a whole book about them. B, battling personal medical crises, exigencies at home, and we'll go through some of these. Which do you think has been your biggest mistake, but also the mistake you've learned the most from?
I think the biggest mistake is I had big dreams, and I always went in, the perseverance was there that I wanted to pursue those dreams, but not always just dreams and ideas work. You need a lot of, planning. You need a lot of assessments and everything, and this is what I have with me, what I'm enriched by an experience, and where I tell people, you don't just go by dreams, you need to walk your dreams. And having learned from my mistakes, today I can tell people that you can walk your dreams.
When you weren't walking your dreams and you were just sort of following your heart, as they say, without your mind being part of that journey, what do you look back at with regret?
I think I wish I could have done it early. I'm now 59 and I have big dreams, and I'm walking them, and I'll definitely make it. I'm very, very sure about what I want to accomplish. I wish I could have done it early. And I think that's what is there.
So you wish you'd been willing to take risks earlier?
Yeah, see, the point of taking risk is it gives you your journey of resilience is what is about, when you navigate those risks and when you live with those mistakes you make, when you take those risks and you make some mistakes and you learn through that and you churn that data and then eventually you use it for it took me long.
What does the word failure mean to you? We know what success is, but what is failure? Is there such a word in your life?
No, I don't think I'm ever deterred by...
No, have you ever thought, oh, I failed?
No, I never. See, I would not have been here if at any moment I felt that failure was a reminder to me that I need to find my way to change the way I did things. And it also, failure gave me introspection, self-reflection. If
somebody came to you in a time of trouble and said, you know what, I feel like my world is crashing. My life as I knew it is collapsing. You know, either I have a broken relationship, I have a broken business, I have health that doesn't seem to be getting better. What is that you have learned from your mistake? Because it's easy to say be resilient. Everybody is not as strong. What is that one piece of advice that you would give? आपने क्या सीखा?
I think there is one word my team continuously keep hearing from me is about when you are self-reflective, and unless until you are in that mode of, so one is you be aware of yourself, who you are, correct? It is very important. Before you analyze a failure, you should know who you are.
Yeah.
You should know your strengths. You should know your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Resilient is a human trait, What is the role of artificial intelligence?
I think, I'll tell you one thing. The only thing artificial intelligence does is gives you access to a lot of information. Use the power of AI to learn and use it to be more. It helps you to be more resilient because you can become more worldly wise. And if you are worldly wise, this is where. So power of AI is about, leveraging that, not against it. Use it, leverage it. And that will help you to give you knowledge and experience. Point is that the purpose, find a purpose in life. And that purpose in life is not about that number. It's about the entire, ecosystem around it.